When I saw the baby for the first time, I wanted to be happy. But then I remembered something I couldn't ignore. The baby had bright blue eyes, just like my wife's. But I don't have blue eyes. Not even close. And more importantly, I can't have children. I've known this since I was 24. The explosion in Kandahar didn't just tear through our Humvee. It tore through my future, tore through my pride, my manhood, and whatever dreams I had about becoming a father one day. They bled out in the sand that morning. I didn't talk about it much. How could I? Infertility isn't something men talk about, especially not men like me. Uniformed, quiet, trained to endure, not to confess. Emily was the only person I ever told. We'd been dating for almost 5 years at that point. She was 28, radiant and full of warmth. The kind of woman who remembered birthdays, baked cookies for the neighbors, and made strangers feel like family within 5 minutes. I told her one night, after we'd made love and lay tangled in each other, the TV flickering silently in the back. "I can't have kids," I said, staring at the ceiling. Silence. Then her breath caught, and she turned to me, her eyes already wet. "You mean? Never?" I nodded. She pulled me into her arms and held me tighter than anyone ever had. "Then we'll find a different way," she whispered. "I don't care how we build a family, James, as long as we're together." We got married the following spring, a simple ceremony in her parents' backyard. She wore a lace dress. I wore my dress blues. We danced under fairy lights, drank wine until midnight, and snuck out to the guest house like kids. For a time, everything felt okay. Better than okay. Years passed. We tried to adopt, but the process was grueling. So much paperwork, so many home visits, endless background checks. Twice, we were matched with infants. Twice, the mothers changed their minds. Emily was devastated. She never said it out loud, but I saw it in the way she lingered in the nursery we'd painted pale yellow, in how she stared a little too long at babies in shopping carts, in how she flinched every time someone at church asked, "When will you two finally have kids?" Eventually, she stopped talking about it, stopped bringing up adoption, stopped walking past the nursery altogether. I received orders to deploy to Germany on a 9-month tour. I asked her to come with me, but she declined. "I can't leave work," she said, "and the choir needs me." I didn't push. We promised to FaceTime every night, and we did, at first, but as the months passed, her calls got shorter, her texts more spaced out. I figured maybe she was just overwhelmed, lonely, or maybe she was avoiding the topic we never fully resolved. Then 6 months in, she called me in tears. She looked pale, anxious. "I'm not feeling well," she said. "Nausea, dizziness. I don't know what's going on." My heart dropped, but I kept calm. "Maybe the flu?" I offered. "Stress?" She nodded, forcing a smile. "Maybe I'll take a test," she mumbled. 2 days later, she FaceTimed me again. Her face was red from crying, but her eyes were lit with a strange kind of joy, the kind I hadn't seen in years. "James," she said, "I'm pregnant." My world spun. I felt like someone had pulled the floor out from under me. The connection glitched. Her words repeated, "I'm pregnant, pregnant, pregnant." I wanted to throw my phone, but I didn't. I smiled. I congratulated her. I played along, because what else could I do from 5,000 miles away? In the days that followed, I searched every dark corner of the internet. Can a man with a 0 sperm count still father a child? False sterility diagnosis? Pregnancy miracle after testicular trauma? The answers were always the same. Statistically improbable. Medically impossible. Still, I wanted to believe. Maybe we were the 1 in a million. Maybe God had answered a prayer I'd stopped praying. 3 months later, I came home. Emily was glowing. Literally. She looked 10 years younger. Cheeks flushed, stomach round. She ran into my arms at the airport like nothing had happened. I held her, and I hated how good it felt. "This is our miracle," she whispered. "Our second chance." I didn't say a word. I just nodded. The night she went into labor, I drove her to the hospital. She gripped my hand through every contraction, screamed my name, begged me not to leave her, and I didn't. I stayed until the baby arrived. It was a boy. They wrapped him in a soft blue blanket and handed him to me. I looked down at his tiny face. His blue eyes blinked up at me, and something inside me shattered. I didn't sleep that night or the night after. I just stared at the ceiling and replayed every conversation, every touch, every kiss that now felt like a lie. A week later, I sent off a paternity test. I didn't tell Emily. I swabbed the baby's cheek while she napped, put it in a padded envelope, drove it myself to the shipping office. Then I waited. 5 days later, I opened the email. One sentence stood out. Probability of paternity, 0.0%. My chest went cold. My hands didn't shake. I felt nothing. Just a silence so loud it rang in my ear. That night, I confronted her. The baby was asleep in his bassinet. Emily was folding laundry. I sat at the edge of the bed, laptop open. "I know," I said. She looked up. "Know what?" I turned the screen toward her. Her face paled. She sat down slowly, like her knees gave out. "You tested him. You didn't think I would?" she cried. Tried to speak, but I held up my hand. "Don't insult me with a story," I said. "Just tell the truth." She buried her face in her hand. "It was just once," she whispered. "I was lonely. You were gone, and I thought you'd left me." "I was gone, Emily," I said. "On order. For us." "I know," she cried. "It was a mistake. A stupid, terrible mistake, and I thought I could pretend it didn't happen. I thought if I raised him with you, maybe it would become true. I moved out that night. No fight. No shouting, just silence. Weeks passed. She sent photos, wrote letters, tried to explain. I ignored her. Until one day, a small envelope arrived. No return address. Inside was a photo. Me, holding the baby. He was giggling. Emily must have taken it when I wasn't looking. On the back, she'd written, "He may not be yours by blood, but he looks at you like you're his whole world. He reaches for you, smiles at you, needs you. I made a mistake, but he's innocent. And you're the only father he'll ever know." That night I drove back. I didn't say anything. I just asked if I could hold him. She nodded, crying. I held him, and he looked up at me, like he remembered me. And something broke again. But this time, it wasn't pain. It was the beginning of something else. I'm not with Emily anymore, but we co-parent. That boy, he's mine now. Maybe not in biology, but in every other way. Because love isn't always blood. Sometimes it's a choice, and I chose him, even if I didn't choose the betrayal that brought him into my life.